Welcome to the Observe Day podcast, the show where we celebrate the days that matter. From holidays to meaningful observances, we bring you inspiring conversations, stories, and ideas to make each day count. Whether it's raising awareness, learning something new, or simply sparking joy, this is your space to explore the calendar in a whole new way. I'm your host, Wisdom Okonkwo, and I'm excited to share today's observance with you. Let's dive in. Today on Observe Day podcast, we're celebrating Global Media and Information Literacy Week, a time to reflect on how we consume, create, and share information responsibly in an age of rapid digital change. Our guest today is Jason Dietrich, a passionate STEM educator and communication specialist at Science Systems and Applications Inc., SSAI. Jason's journey is one of turning personal challenge into public impact, living with Hyperlexia, a form of autism. He discovered the power of STEM education as his bridge to understanding and connecting with the world. Now, Jason leads outreach efforts that make complex science more engaging and inclusive, from supporting NASA and NOAA projects to amplifying the voices of scientists through the SSAI podcast. In this episode, we'll explore how science communication, media literacy, and inclusion intersect, and how we can make knowledge more equitable and empowering for everyone. Welcome to the podcast, Jason.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we're talking about Global Media and Information Literacy Week. It focuses on empowering people to assess and evaluate information critically. From your experience at SSAI, what role does scientific communication play in promoting that kind of literacy?
Absolutely, Wisdom. That's a great question. Well, in terms of my role, I just wanted to highlight a little bit about what a communication specialist is, and it relates to your question.
Okay.
For those of your audience and viewers that might not be as familiar with what a communication specialist like myself does, I wanted to first off let you know that that is a career path that you can actually go into and pursue. It's another STEM field, and I actually found this quite fascinating, Wisdom, because I never thought I would be a communication specialist, but I'm doing it now, and I absolutely love it. But what I primarily do as a communication specialist is I am responsible for taking all of my company's projects that we work on and trying to come up with meaningful, impactful ways of sharing it globally. So, you mentioned that I lead SSAI's podcast on our YouTube channel. What I primarily do with that is I interview all of our, scientists, engineers, people who do technology, education, and also the Department of Defense as well. And I have them tell their stories, because we definitely want to highlight, SSAI as subject matter experts. So that is, one of the main purposes of why we started the podcast to begin with, because we want to highlight, what are the problems we are trying to solve on an international scale? And I have to say, Wisdom, that I have definitely enjoyed all the stories that I've heard so far, and there's definitely going to be many more coming. But what I definitely do, through video editing is I try to come up, with meaningful ways to keep our audience engaged through video. So that's one of the things that I do. I'm also responsible for, helping to come up with engaging social media posts. So we are on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, X, and also Blue Sky as well. So myself and my team, we are responsible for coming up with social media posts through the use of, SEO optimization. We're currently working on that right now. And we want to tell a story, and we want people to see, why should they look at SSAI? What is it that they are doing that is really making an impact, and how is it benefiting me? Those are definitely the questions that we ask quite frequently as communication specialists like myself. And then another thing that I do is I, send out company-wide emails. So, for example, we come up with, company-wide emails based on any events that are going on at my company. And, we take a look at the metrics And one of the big questions, wisdom we ask all the time is why. So we always take
Oh,
a look at the metrics and we see, how it is that we're doing. Why is something a little bit higher compared to something else? And it's always a process of trial and error. It's not always going to be just a linear line going up. So there's going to be ups and downs. But in terms of, that, how it definitely relates to global literacy and digital literacy is it's very important for an external audience or an internal audience, depending upon who you're talking to understand what it is that what you're doing. And you only have probably, I would say, 5 to 8 seconds in order to hook them. Otherwise, if you don't, well, then you're really not going to get your message across very effectively. But that's just in relation to my role and my experiences at SSAI. But we definitely value literacy, and we value this Global Literacy Month because it's very important because we want to engage the next generation in terms of why STEM provides multiple different highways of opportunity and engagement. And I'm very fortunate and very honored to be a part of this company.
yeah. Well, thank you so much. How do you see STEM education shaping the next generation's ability to discern truth, bias, and credible sources in media?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I think wisdom in terms of what I have seen, primarily for STEM, the opportunities there's a lot more ample opportunities now, compared to, I would say, 50, 60 years ago. And one of the main reasons is because of technology advancements. We have had a lot of technological advancements and innovations over the last several decades. And our problems, wisdom, have gotten even more complex. So it's important nowadays that the traditional method of just rote memorization by learning through a textbook, that doesn't work anymore. And it doesn't work for me. I am someone who learns best through visual aids. And that's, one of the main important things that really relates to my role, especially with video editing as well. I enjoy, making videos. I enjoy learning some new complex tips and tricks because it allows me to create at higher um, levels of thinking. That is definitely something that I value, and this is something that I advocate for. And another thing, wisdom, I particularly see a lot of expansion in is for people who want to be astronauts. There's lots of opportunities now for commercial space travel. We
Yeah.
have the Artemis mission, which is coming up, which is very, very exciting. I can't wait to see, with us going to the moon and then, us working towards, going to Mars as well. And there's a lot more people who are becoming astronauts. It's not just, like it was 50, 60 years ago, where a majority of those who are NASA astronauts were, pilots. A lot of them were pilots or, they were in some sort of branch in the military. So
Yeah.
now, we have people who are not only pilots, but we've had, medical professionals. We've had, educators as well, going back, to the 1980s as well. So there's lots more ample opportunities, and it particularly really benefits me, especially as well, wisdom, because I have hyperlexia, which is a form of autism. And, one of the big things I want to emphasize to your audience is hyperlexia is not a disability, but it is in fact a superpower. So because of all of the great multiple highways of opportunity that we are seeing in STEM now, there are people, like myself who may have, autism or, there was this one girl, I think, who went into space recently who had cancer and lost a leg. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. So we're seeing, many different advancements and, opportunities for people to go to the next level. So we're really increasing our diversity, which is very, very important in STEM because there's nothing wrong, with a new way of thinking like myself. There's no such thing as a disability. Dis is negative. I'm trying to
Yeah.
get out of that and change society's perception
Yeah.
before they get to know somebody like myself. So wisdom, it's very, very cool to see all of the great STEM innovations and highlights that are coming, especially with all these technological advancements, and looking forward to seeing me go up into space and helping to inspire those who may have a superpower like myself to not be discouraged by your disability, but to be empowered.
You mentioned hyperlexia. What exactly is that?
Great question. So, for those of your audience and viewers that might not be as familiar with hyperlexia, think of a brain, and the brain is autism. Autism is made up of multiple branches. Hyperlexia is one branch, and then, for example, Asperger's is another branch, etc. Hyperlexia is a branch of autism, and it pretty much goes back to when I was 5 years old, which seemed like ages ago because I'm 29.
Yeah.
But my parents discovered that I had such a precocious ability to read words at such a high level. When I was in kindergarten wisdom, I was reading equivalent to a fifth grader. I
Oh,
had, such a great ability to read words, and my parents were just blown away and they were absolutely impressed. So they thought because I was able to read words at such a high level, they thought that myself would be able to comprehend what I was reading. So then they started asking me these questions
yeah.
saying, "Hey, Jason, what does this particular word or phrase mean?" Well, that's where the struggle happened because very often I would say, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
So hyperlexia involves someone who has a precocious ability to read words at such a high level, but yet struggles with reading comprehension. And,
Mm,
early on, wisdom in my educational journey, I have to say that my teachers were not very supportive of my skill sets and abilities, including administrators. They unfortunately never showed me the time nor the effort that I needed in order to thrive both personally, academically, and even emotionally. Very often with hyperlexia or autism, you sometimes deal with anxiety as well. So sometimes there are times where I've been anxious. I might have had, some anxiety attacks as well. We all do at times. But I know somebody like myself who has hyperlexia has more anxiety compared to others. Sometimes it's also a little bit difficult to interact in social situations
yeah.
as well. And since I was in elementary school, even though I had two good teachers who at least tried, and I'm very grateful to those two teachers who at least helped me, even though it was in two toxic environments, I often struggled socially as well. So those who have hyperlexia or a form of autism, they struggle with talking in social situations. They often get anxious because they a lot of times have to think and process in terms of what people say, and sometimes they're a little bit slower. But again, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I might think a little bit slower, and it might take me a little bit of time to read and comprehend what is being said. But look at all the great talents that I have. I mean, that outweighs the disability. So, and once I got to middle school, my teachers, thanks to them, they helped me to see that hyperlexia is not a disability, but it is a superpower. And once I got introduced to STEM, the sky was the limit.
Well, thanks for explaining hyperlexia to me and my listeners. You work at the
Absolutely.
intersection of science, storytelling, and social media. What strategies have you found most effective for making complex STEM topics accessible to the general audience, both audio, for those that are listening on the podcast and those that can also watch visually?
Great question. I would definitely say, in terms of, especially with social media, this is a big piece of advice that I have. Less is more. And this is what I mean by that. It's very important that, for a social media post that you develop, that you don't get super wordy. There have been times that, for example, I've developed, social media posts that were like multiple paragraphs, and what I have learned, particularly with social media, is if you have like a textbook of text, people aren't going to read that.
Yeah.
They're not going to be very engaged with that. And, too, they're not going to have a whole lot of time to read. So, again, you have to think about that 5 to 8 second hook. If you don't hook them right away, then they're not really going to engage with your content, and you're not going to get a whole lot of likes, comments, and followers, and even shares as well. So that is definitely, something to consider there, particularly with social media. Another thing that I've definitely learned, especially like with YouTube as well, is you definitely want to establish and create engaging YouTube thumbnails.
Yeah.
It's not only important for the audience to be able to, watch your video, but it all starts with them wanting to click on your video.
Yeah.
And because if they happen to see the video in their feed, and if they see that a particular image or thumbnail doesn't look so great, well, they're not really going to click on the video. They're just going to move on to something else. And again, that's where that hook comes in to play. So you definitely want to make sure that you develop engaging thumbnails that draws the audience's attention, and it makes them want to say, wow, this looks very cool, and I want to click on this video and, learn even more. So,
Yeah.
and we've definitely noticed, especially at SSAI, that because of these thumbnails, it has helped to, increase, our followership and our viewership. Now, growing on social media, it's not easy. We've lost some followers, we've lost some subscribers at times, and it's a process of trial and error in terms of trends as well. But another thing that you have to do is you have to be unique towards yourself. As well, which is very, very important. So we at SSAI showcase our abilities in science, engineering, technology, and the Department of Defense. That's what we
Yeah.
focus on, and we're looking to expand out even further. So by doing those couple of things, you will really understand yourself. You'll start to help to grow your channel even more. And I would also encourage your audience as well to do this other thing, is find other people to collaborate with as
Yeah.
well. You never exactly know who might be promoting similar content towards you. So, and that can really help to increase your followers and viewership. But it is a process. It does take time. It doesn't happen overnight. There are times where I've said, oh my gosh, we've done this. Why aren't we there yet? Well, it's all a part of the journey, and you have to enjoy it as you are developing posts. And if you want to pursue this kind of opportunity like myself. So that's just some advice that I have for that.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much. What are some common mistakes you see institutions make when communicating science or technical information, and how can they be corrected?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I think in terms of the way sometimes content is communicated, one of the biggest mistakes that I see is not understanding who your target audience is. So, for example, if you are giving a STEM presentation, like let's say at a middle school, right? You're talking to middle school students.
Yeah.
Talking to middle school students is a lot different compared to if you're talking to teachers,
Yeah.
administrators, if you're talking to college level professors and administrators, if you're talking to the state, if you're talking to leaders like the governor or the mayor. The list goes on and on. You have to understand who your target audience is, and you have to make sure that you develop a talk so that way they can understand what it is that you're talking about and saying. Because if, let's say, you develop a talk that is very technical, and you prepare the talk like you speak to college level kids and or students, and you go to middle school students, I would probably say within a couple minutes, 5 minutes at the most, they're going to be lost. And that's a huge problem. Because then, for your target audience, you're not going to be able to, hook them right away. And if you see as the presenter that you don't have the audience's attention, oh, it's going to be really hard to get them back. So that is definitely a mistake that I would, try to avoid. I've
Yeah.
heard stories of, people who have, done that, but they've learned from that.
Yeah.
So that is something that is very important that I would encourage for those who are interested in explaining STEM topics. Please make sure you understand your audience, and that will help you to develop a great talk that will keep them engaged, and it will get them inspired.
Well, still on that, how do you personally translate highly, technical scientific material into messages that anyone, regardless of background, can understand and feel inspired by, rather than just all this technical jargons?
Right. Well, I think in terms of that, something that you can definitely do with your presentation is again, definitely less is more. I would say, for a presentation, don't have, so much text, for a slide because that'll definitely, help to disengage the audience. I know for
Yeah.
me, if I saw, a lot of text, I would just zone out immediately. I would not, want to engage or, be listening in. So the way that you can break it down is definitely include some visuals. So I would definitely say if you have some visuals and maybe just a brief, subtitle in terms of what that graphic is, that definitely provides a nice visual aid to your audience. So that way they can see and understand what it is that you're talking about. So definitely look for visuals. I would also say to showcase some videos as well. If you have some videos that last like a couple minutes or something like
Yeah.
that, definitely show some videos. Just make sure that for the videos that they work. You want to make sure that you test it out right before you do the presentation.
Yeah.
You don't want to run into the issue where, let's say, you're there at the presentation site, right, and
And
then you
it's loading.
right, yeah, it's
Yeah,
doing
that's
loading and or what I like to call it as the spinning wheel of death
yeah.
because of all those colors. Yeah,
uh,
you you definitely don't want that to happen. So if you do showcase, videos, you want to make sure that they work. So that's definitely something that's very important. But that's definitely what I would say wisdom in terms of helping to break down, a technical talk even further. Now, there is some content that might be, difficult to break down because it's very highly technical. It
yeah.
just depends on what somebody is presenting. But if you incorporate, some visuals and some videos, I think that will definitely help your audience to be able to visually see what it is that you're speaking about. And if you have like any hands-on, learning opportunities through interactive discussions and workshops, that can really take you down the right path and it'll help you to create a great talk.
Thank you so much for those recommendations. What can educators and communicators do to ensure inclusion for neurodiverse learners and audiences?
Great question. Well, I think wisdom, it all comes down to, the four C's. This is definitely something that I value and will always value. One of the C's is you have to be caring. You have to care about what you do. And you have to care about your audience and you have to care about wanting to make a difference. Because if you don't care, well, then you're making a disservice towards yourself. You're also creating a disservice towards your audience, whoever it might be, and you're not inspiring them. So you have to care and you have to be willing to step outside, your comfort zone and be able to make a difference. So you have to have a good heart. That is
Yeah.
certainly number one. Another C that I value is you have to be compassionate. You have to be compassionate because everybody has different stories. Everybody learns in different ways and at different rates, and everybody has a life. There are some people who, live well. There are some people that live okay.
Yeah.
Some, don't live well at all. So, you have to be mindful of that and you have to understand that not everybody is living off in a luxurious mansion. Let's say there are some people that are struggling today.
Yeah.
So and it could be for various reasons. I know certainly for me as a formal educator, public school teacher before coming to SSAI, one of the big challenges is you never really knew what was going on at home. So if
Yeah.
some students were acting out, I remember this one student acted out and it was because their dog died.
Oh,
So which was awful. That was very traumatic to hear, but I didn't know that. So you have to be mindful of those situations, and you got to be compassionate towards those individuals, because you never know what they might be going through, or if they might have had a bad day or something like that. So that's definitely another C that I value. Another C is you have to be creative. You can't be afraid to think outside the box, if you will. So I'm definitely someone, because of hyperlexia. Often people with hyperlexia or autism, they think outside the box, and
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. That's a great superpower that I have. I get to see, things in new ways that, others might not be able to see as well. But again, it's a new way of thinking. What's wrong with that? Everybody has unique traits, and everybody has unique gifts and skill sets. So it's very important to, harness that, and, help somebody to showcase their
yeah,
creativity. Um, and then finally, as well, the final C is you got to be a great communicator.
wow,
So you have to be able to advocate for yourself. You have to be willing to, see an opportunity and just go for it. And you also have to be willing to ask for help as well. Again, trying to get towards your dreams, like for example, with me trying to become an astronaut, it's not a straight path from point A to point B. It's many different zigzags, and
yeah,
getting knocked down and going up again. That's just the way life is.
yeah,
So you have to be able to advocate for yourself. You have to know what you want and just go for it. But it takes time, so you have to be patient. You also have to believe in the process. I believe in God big time. I
mm,
thank Him for getting me here to where I am today. And in terms of the challenges that I go through, I know it's just prep work to get me to where I need to go today. So, and if you're not, making mistakes, especially as you're pursuing your dreams, then you're not really trying. So that's just definitely something that, I encourage for your audience and viewers as well. But if you value, those four C's, you can really go a long way, and boy, you can really make a difference.
wow. Thank you so much for those four C's. I did
Yeah.
prepare a lightning round. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Who's your favorite science communicator or journalist you admire?
Favorite science communicator or journalist? I would probably say Albert Einstein.
Okay. I
So
wasn't expecting that answer.
I was going to say, I definitely, in terms of, Albert Einstein, he had a very powerful quote I remember, where he said, "Your imagination is everything. It's a preview to life's coming attractions." And if you
Wow.
think about it, that's a pretty true statement, because, whatever comes inside your head, that's just your imagination. And that's something that you should definitely pursue. So, I definitely like Albert Einstein.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. What's one STEM topic the world underestimates?
Oh, one STEM topic that society underestimates. I would probably say, again, those with disabilities, like myself. That is, pretty common, because you never really know wisdom in terms of what somebody like myself with autism can do. They could, become the next great astronaut. They could help to develop a cure for cancer, which has killed millions of people on a global scale. Or, they could come up with a cure for autism. They could be the next president of the United States. The sky's the limit. So, one small, criticism can really push them out. So you just have to be very careful about that. And again, that's definitely something that I see as a STEM topic that can still be worked on, even though it has been improved.
Yeah. And then the last question is, what's the most exciting project you've worked on at SSAI?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. I would probably say the most exciting, project that I've worked on is developing the STEM podcasts, because I know that this was definitely a way to get our story out there and our subject matter expertise out there. I think currently we have 85 videos up on our YouTube channel, and
Wow.
we've only been doing this for not even 2 years or so.
Wow.
So it's very impactful in terms of the stories that I hear. And not only is it impactful for the stories that I hear, but I also get to meet people There are some people at the company that I never even knew worked there. And I'm just amazed that I'm able to connect with them and grow with them, but then also, showcase why SSAI is a great place to work. So I have to say, with getting that, off the ground, that was very exciting. And I got a performance award for it because of all of the great videos that have been developed. And it's great learning some new tips and tricks in terms of better enhancing videos and growing your audience. So I look forward to continuing to do that.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Where can listeners learn more about the work you do and also connect with you?
Great question. Well, Wisdom, I can certainly provide an email contact that you can reach out to for partnerships. So I'll definitely provide that to your audience to connect with. I would also encourage your audience and viewers to check out our YouTube channel, and I'll provide the link for that for your audience to like, comment, share, and subscribe to us. And I would also encourage your audience to check out our LinkedIn page where you can see additional great content that we post about. And then finally, your audience can check out our website as well. So that way everybody can see the great work that we are doing in science, engineering, technology, and the Department of Defense as well, and many other projects as well. And definitely check out, with our website, there's internship opportunities that will be coming up soon. And also definitely look at our careers website for job opportunities. You never know what can happen. So just to, contact us and, follow us. Those are some areas I would recommend, but I'll make sure to share all that with you.
Well, thank you so much. Once again, it's been an absolute delight chatting with you, Jason.
That's awesome, Wisdom. That means a lot to me. And thank you again so much for having me on this podcast.
Yeah, that's it for today's episode of the Observe Day podcast. Thank you for spending your time with us as we explore today's observance. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and share it with a friend who'd love to celebrate life's special days too. Don't forget to join the newsletter at observeday.com/join for more observance stories, tips, and updates. Until next time, keep finding meaning in every day.